Let's hope that this is not the last German sale, that we'll be back next year. I'm hoping, and I think we all believe this is going to be a permanent fixture, annual
love
fixture.
to come back.
I
love Munich. Love the place.
Yeah. I mean, not just. I mean, anywhere in Germany, great, but here, even better.
We've had some good beer.
Only a little bit.
Oh, I had not very much, but I mean, just a small thimble
beer
full
is
of
very
deep
good
of beer.
in Munich.
Yeah, and I'm.
German beer is the best.
Yeah, and I wager that we can probably go and find a decent sausage.
Sausage and beer. On that note.
And on that happy note, I think we'll wind it up.
Sounds good.
Welcome everybody to another episode of RM Sotheby's Car Show, and we are in Munich. We're recording this in a location, if you watched last season, called Motorworld. You might know Motorworld. It's a automotive emporium, isn't it, gents? And I'm here with car specialists at RM Sotheby's, Will Smith and Anders. I always do that, don't I? Because I can never say your bloody name.
Billet.
It's not billet, it's built.
It's billet.
I say built.
Because I was about to say built, and then I thought, no, he picked me up on this last time, and I couldn't remember.
Yeah, but you can also call him Anders or Anders.
Anna's.
In Danish, his name is Anders, not Anders.
But don't do that, because in English it just sounds like an ass.
I was just
And
about
that's
to say.
not cool.
I'm here with RM specialists Anders Billet and Will Smith, and we are soaking up. We are living the Bavarian dream, aren't we?
Absolutely.
I don't know what's happened since last season, but the budget's really been pushed.
Yeah,
back.
we've upped the budget, and okay. So before we get started,
I'm not sure we're allowed to eat them though. It might be for somebody else.
No, they're not actually real.
Exactly.
No. You can't come to Germany and not sample a sausage.
Or some of their local beer. Cheers.
Or some local beer. And I've learned something. Before we start talking about cars, why don't we just go a bit left field? Apparently, Anders, who's not German, who's actually Danish, who still thinks Danish beer is the best beer in the world.
No, probably the best beer in the world.
Probably the best beer in the world. Very good. Legislation means that German beer is the cleanest beer in the world. Is that what? To do with filtration?
Filtration, yep. And what they're allowed to put in it.
Ingredients, yeah. Crucially, you're not allowed to put any preservatives or anything that prolongs the life of the beer.
It is the purest beer you can get in the world. That comes out of Germany. There you go.
The viewers of RM Sotheby's Car Show
They will be so excited to know this.
No. They may write in and actually take issue with this and have a contrary.
They will pass it on to the German government then.
It tastes good. We went to a German sort of a very traditional beer keller type of eating establishment last night.
Yes.
And I had a stein of beer.
Did you? How many steins?
I had 2 steins, encouraged by our managing director, Greg Anderson, who insisted that I have a second.
Yeah.
When I quite honestly felt that one was enough, but
So
it was good. I'm barely strong enough to lift a stein. It's a lot of beer.
Yeah,
it's a litre of beer.
Yeah.
I drank 2 litres of beer last night.
Well done.
Which is why this
but at least
podcast
it was
is going to be
very pure.
It was very pure beer. And
Are you going to do it?
How impressed are you with my sausage?
I'm gonna. Oh God.
Should we have a bite?
I think we should. We are in Munich after all.
That's good. It needs some mustard.
A bit more mustard would have been nice.
But nice spice to it.
That's a lovely sausage.
Yeah, it's good. So we are recording an episode of the Car Show.
Yeah.
What we can't do
Let's just talk about sausage and beer.
is talk about sausage and beer. And so
We're doing really well though on that topic, I find.
we're doing really well. And bear in mind that people that are listening to the audio can't even see the sausage and beer.
No.
So the whole thing is like, completely lost on them. So there's quite a bit of noise around us. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. They're moving cars over there because Motorworld is a I mean, there's lots of stuff for sale here. There's clothing, there's toy cars, there's shop selling scale extric stuff. There are motorbikes behind us. I've even seen a boat in here somewhere. But essentially, it's lots of car dealers, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's a very impressive, not above us, over there, like multi-story car storage, isn't there? And you can see all the cars.
And you've got a hotel here as well, even.
There's a hotel on
car
site.
themed, obviously.
Yep. So it's a little bit like going to think of a big shopping centre nearby with all of your favourite shops, and you can buy everything there. It's the car version of that.
It's a car mecca.
It is a car mecca.
I'm a fan. I also like how they've executed it within, what was traditionally an old. It was a railway.
It was a train
factory.
depot,
It was
wasn't
a train depot.
Train depot.
These amazing giant steel girders around the place, which they haven't tried to restore or make pretty. They've just sort of fitted the purpose of Motorworld within the confines.
It's very
of the building.
authentic, isn't it? And it adds some real nice atmosphere and character to the place. I think it's very cool.
It's very well done, and there's nothing like it in the UK or in America that I've seen. You've got Bicester Heritage, which is, a little bit like this, but much more spread out.
Yeah.
It's not quite as commercial, Bicester Heritage say, as this operation, because you've got a lot more brands, large brands. Bugatti, BMW.
Yeah, there's several.
A lot of the bigger brands are in here, and I think they've done it really, really well.
And there's actually a lot of very, very rare cars in here. So like the McLaren showroom's got an Elva, that Aston Speedster thing down there. I'd never even seen one of those before.
No.
I didn't even know
Valkyrie, I see 3507 BMW.
the Lamborghini, the 2023
The modern Aventador Countach.
I've never seen one of those.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really good stuff here.
There is.
But actually, that's not the highlight, is it? Because there's an auction here.
Oh, is there?
Well, apparently. I've not been because I've just been here drinking beer and eating.
And eating sausage. I'll have some more sausage.
We can't all eat the sausage at the same time.
that-
Because then the conversation will just stop.
It's just all you hear is like crunching. Yeah, not great.
When I see you stop eating, I'll have a bite. Now, last year was our first, it wasn't actually our first ever auction because we did an auction at Essen, but let's just park that.
That was our first Munich auction.
Certainly our first proper auction at an established annual sale.
Yeah.
And it went very, very well.
Shockingly well.
It was shockingly because
I think it surprised everybody, including us.
the auction room last year, it was standing room only.
It was buzzing.
nuts. It was like a Foo Fighters gig.
Absolutely buzzing.
And there kind of was a reason for that, wasn't there? Because we had that big collection of cars that had actually come in from China,
BMW collection.
all no reserve, and with quite modest estimates.
Yes.
So it was one of those classic no reserve sales where everyone thought they could snaffle a bargain. And as it was, because there were so many bidders on every lot and they all thought they were going to get a bargain, they all ended up by paying loads of money.
Created quite a hype, didn't it?
Yeah.
People got carried away, you could say.
Yes.
Last year.
Yeah. But it was good. And so we're coming back. It's year 2. It's going to be very hard for us to replicate that because we've got a different offering. Yeah. But we've got some great cars.
Yeah.
And we've got a bit of everything. We've got pre-war. I always like auctions with pre-war cars. I like a spread of cars, and we've got a really good. So we've got pretty contemporary sort of supercars, hypercars. We've got pre-war. We've got racing. We've got competition cars. We've got some great competition cars, DTM,
Rally cars.
rally cars, Dakar cars.
And price-wise, I think we've also got a really nice spread. There's sort of something for everybody, really.
Yeah. Which again is nice. There are a couple of cars here that you should be able to get for 50 grand-ish.
There's even a couple that might be cheaper still.
Yeah. So I think
there's that black Beetle convertible.
Yeah, I like that as well.
It's for what it is, it's cool. It's a cool little thing.
20 grand.
Passed around that during the
25.
summertime. Yeah, something like that. It'd be lovely.
No, it's nice. I like it.
Do you talk about a Beetle?
There's a Beetle.
Oh, right.
Did you not see the Beetle? There's a black Beetle convertible.
No, I just said you said it. You associated driving a Beetle as lovely, but I was quite confused there for a second.
I had a convertible, but no.
Chop off the roof and it gets nicer.
I had a convertible Beetle.
Did you?
When I was about 22. It wasn't a proper one. It had the roof chopped.
You chopped it off.
Oh, right.
No, I didn't. The previous owner had done it, and it was red, and it had a white roof. It was very tarty,
Wow.
if I'm allowed to say that on a podcast. It was very tarty. And
Did you have dreams of a Porsche
But-
engine conversion or something?
But you got to think of the context of the time. I'm talking about it was it was the 80s, so I probably wasn't even 22. But you put on your Beach Boys album.
Did you
Right.
though?
Yeah,
Okay.
In England?
in England, in Surrey, in
the rain?
No. I used to cruise Dorking High Street in the sun
Now we're talking.
with my Beetle roof down.
Did anyone else in the car with
playing-
you? Or
playing the-
on your own?
I was always on my own.
Probably on his own.
I was always on.
I'm
my
pretty sure of that.
own. Yeah. I was 40 before I
I
had a
don't think
girlfriend.
that's your motoring high point, Peter.
And it's not my motoring high point. All I'm saying is there was a time when a Beetle convertible was genuinely a cool thing to be seen.
See-
I know we live in different times now.
I think you should just buy the one that's here. Relive your youth.
It's true, actually. Dorking High Street still exists.
Dorking High Street's still there.
And
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you buy this car here at this auction, the Beetle convertible, I'll get you a Beach Boys tape, I promise.
Is it your consignment, Anders?
It's not.
Oh,
But I just so want to see you in a
because
Beetle convertible cruising.
normally you're only interested in selling me your consignments. That's is the reality.
I'll make an exception to see you in a Beetle convertible listening to the Beach Boys. That would possibly be my motoring high point.
I don't
Especially
think.
on Dorking High Street.
I'm not sure I've got my Beach Boys cassette anymore.
No, but I'll get you one.
Oh, you can
Yeah,
get
yeah.
me a cassette. It's going to have to be a
That's the
cassette.
deal.
Yeah,
That's the
obviously,
deal.
obviously.
All right. And the Eagles. I used to enjoy listening to the Eagles in the car as well.
Who doesn't?
Oh, okay. So we've got acceptance for the Eagles.
Eagles was alright.
But you're right about the variety. Like, we've talked too much about Beatles, so I'm moving it on for you.
Good man. Thank you.
But
Appreciate it.
the variety is key, and if you can appeal to a wide cross section of not just car people, but you know, the wider
How's that
families, wider demographics, older, younger, different people at different stages of their lives, then I think you're doing the right.
I
Doing the right
totally
thing.
agree. I mean, we've got some modern supercars in here. We've got it's a nice little collection of like really nice late 60s, early 70s GTs. You know, there is a lot, really huge variety, which is cool.
We're not going to pick our favourites
we're
because
not.
after the sausage, we're going to go for a stroll. And we're going to, at that point, perhaps pick our favourites. And of course, you're going to pick your own consignment.
Well, obviously.
Well, no, don't worry, because this will be broadcast after the auction. It'll be too late to promote them. They're going to be sold.
Yeah.
Or not.
Well, they will be sold, obviously. Wow, come on.
No.
Give me a break.
But can we go back to Motorworld for a second?
Yes.
Because this is a very successful franchised business now, effectively, because they've got multiple sites in Germany. I think they're talking about opening up to other countries as well.
Yeah.
I think in the UK, certainly, I'd say in the UK, something like this would be very, very welcome.
Do you think it would work?
I think it would. I think if you brought in the right dealers and brands from the outset, I think it would be a runaway success because, you know, people do have an intrinsic interest in cars of all kinds and different ages. You know, you've got modern stuff, you've got old stuff, you've got everything in between here. So I just think as a weekend, it rains a lot in England, right? And it rains a lot in Germany. It's raining now. So what do you do on a Saturday or a Sunday with your kids? You bring them down here for a spot of lunch or a coffee, and it kind of makes sense.
If I brought my kids here on a Saturday, they wouldn't talk to me for 3 months. They'd say, Dad, where the hell are we?
My kids are at the age though where I can drag them anywhere and they'll just follow me.
I actually think that the atmosphere is that nice here that you could probably get away with it. Because it's not too car geeky, which we would all love. But I think actually, I mean, you've got nice restaurants here as well. You've got a little cafe here as well. So I think actually you can get away with it. You probably wouldn't want to do it weekend after weekend after weekend.
Would you bring a lady here as a first date?
Probably not, but I think I'm kind of past that anyway in my life. But no, probably not. But I think that
Your wife doesn't listen to this podcast,
Are you sure?
so
In that case, I might.
You can feel free to speak as you like.
No, but seriously, as a family thing, I think you can get away with it.
Yeah. There's enough to see here.
Imagine if they had done this in Battersea Power Station.
Would have been cool. I mean,
That
there
would
were
have been cool,
so
wouldn't
many things they were talking about Battersea Power Station for, right? I mean,
But it would be, because this is probably the same size. This building is enormous.
yeah, it's
Even in tiny little Denmark, they've recently opened up a place called the Classic Car House, and it's smaller than this, but it's a similar concept.
Is that My House? Is it called My House?
No, there's My Garage.
My Garage.
That's a similar concept.
It's
as
a very
well.
similar concept, isn't it?
But smaller.
Okay.
And then they've recently in Copenhagen opened up the Classic Car House, which is also again the same concept, smaller, but smaller country, smaller concepts, but still very nice, works and quite popular. And I do think it's a place where families do tend to come as well, not just geeky men kicking tires.
Yeah.
No, I'm sort of jesting really, because it is an amazing place, and I do think it would work in the UK. I mean, but like all of these things, you've got to pick it's got to be the right location.
Yes.
It's got to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It would be interesting to see a place like this open up. As you say, Bicester Heritage is the nearest we've got in terms of
As a focal point.
as a focal
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
I
But
quite like Bicester Heritage, but it is very different than this. Let alone the fact that it's out in the open. Rather
Well, it's
than
not.
closed.
It's not really a retail environment.
No,
is it?
it's
That's
much
the
more
thing.
functional, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
you've got garages that are race preparers.
Yeah.
You've got, just sort of people getting on with their work. Whereas this feels more like a museum in that you could walk around it and kind of look through all the windows. And everything's transparent, isn't it? There's
Yeah.
nothing behind closed doors,
No.
so you can see
No.
everything
Yeah.
and feel everything around you. So yeah, it's a really cool execution of something that could easily have been completely awful.
Yeah, no, it's good, and it's a perfect. I know we said this at length last year when we were here for the first time, but it is a perfect auction location.
Yeah.
No venue that we come to would allow us to have the number of cars for sale that this venue would allow us to have. There's so much space. It's easy to get cars in and out. There's a hotel on site. Not that we're staying in it.
What happened there? We were last year.
Oh, I don't.
All the budget went on beer and crab.
Budget went on
Yeah.
sausages.
Yeah, that's why we're in the YMCA because of this. So anyway, but there is a hotel here, and it's a nice hotel as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's really cool.
You can sleep next to your car, or with your car in this hotel.
What?
You can. So some of the rooms have those features whereby you drive into your room in your car, and then you have a glass wall, and then you can sleep looking at your car.
That's weird. So that's what your first date was.
That was my first date with the car. Yeah.
That's not weird. Did you buy dinner?
Oh, naturally. The lovely thing is, it didn't argue with me either.
No, exactly.
Which normally my dates end up in a big argument. but it didn't
Although
on this
when you
occasion, so it was great.
when you woke up and driven off, where's my car?
Where's my car?
Very good. Interesting. So, gents, look, I'm halfway through my sausage in a bun,
Likewise.
almost halfway through my beer. I think we've talked a bit about Motorworld. We've had a little chat about the auction. Why don't we go for a little stroll?
Sounds
Let's
good.
do it before we finish the beer.
All right.
Right, gents, should we go for a stroll?
Let's do it.
Let's go. I'm bringing my beer.
Yep.
Absolutely. Can't leave that behind.
I've eaten the sausage. Right. So,
We've got Morgan's.
we're walking, the viewers on YouTube are going to get a little snapshot. We've got a motorcycle main dealer, Triumph main dealer here. Morgan, is that a Morgan dealer or just there are Morgans?
There are Morgans, there's certainly Morgans.
Alfa
Alfa,
F-Z.
Porsche. Love the Land Cruiser.
Old Land Cruiser truck, that is
Yeah.
cool,
That is
isn't it?
very cool.
Split screen camper.
The Master.
Now then, now. So
look at that.
here's the
The new Countach.
the new Countach.
Gandini loved that, didn't he? Not so much.
2.8 to 3.1 million euros.
Yes.
That I've never seen before.
I've never seen. Quite dumpy in the flesh, I've got to say.
I saw one in Marbella with a nicer paint job. It looked better.
88 built.
Yeah.
Quite a large looking car.
It's a big old unit, isn't it? I'm going to be honest. This kind of speedster thing, like the SP Ferraris and the McLaren Elva,
Yeah.
it's not. They're so impractical, aren't they?
fun.
They are, yeah.
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie.
Talk about impractical then.
I would like to point out that we do have one for sale at RM Sotheby's, private sales.
Yes.
Track car?
I think they're quite spectacular, actually.
3.5 to 3.8 million.
See, that I can get behind that. You know, as a price tag, as
They are.
you know, given the engineering that's gone into that, given the technical ability of it, I can understand the price tag.
Look at this oddity.
Hang on.
Look
We
at
have
this
to talk about
oddity.
this. We have to talk about
I mean,
this.
how
Gents, for the benefit, now bear in mind that there are people listening to this podcast that can't see what we're looking at.
it's a Boschert.
A Boschert. Now
A
tell
Boschert.
me, let's explain to the viewers what a Boschert is.
You take a Mercedes 124, a 300 CE,
Yeah.
and then you chop it up thoroughly, make it shorter, and you give it gull-wing doors, and you got a Boschert. And then you've given it a bit of a front from the SL, the 129
That's
SL.
what confused me.
Yeah.
I thought it was an SL.
No, it's
actually
built on the
CE.
300 CE,
Yeah, makes
300,
sense.
the 124, but
Yeah.
then the front comes off the 129 SL.
Yeah.
The 300 engine has got, I think it's twin turbo, so it's pushing out like 280, 290 horsepower, something like that.
Okay.
And most importantly, you've given it lilac leather interior to go with those absolutely maniac gull-wing doors.
I like that a lot.
I
quite
think
a thing.
it's fabulous.
It's quite a thing.
I would cruise. You can cruise around in your Beetle convertible. I'll cruise in that.
I'm not sure I'd
On
play
to
my
some proper
I wouldn't
cars
play
here
my,
now.
Beach Boys.
We've got
CD.
a selection of BMWs, Mercedes, all very kind of the same.
BMW 3278 over there,
Yep.
which I love. I
Yeah.
always bang on about those.
170S.
Now, guys,
Oh, yeah.
we have to draw
That is a statement.
our viewers' attention to this Brabus
And-
G-Wagon
Yeah.
6x6.
I love these.
Do you?
I mean, ever since they came out, they're so stupid and pointless, but they're wonderful as a consequence.
Can you imagine parking that at Waitrose?
No.
Well, yeah, because you just park on top of whatever else might be there, and
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
But I mean, as a thing, just as a thing. You know, I'm surprised the military haven't sort of picked them up and started using them.
But actually, that word sums it up, because it is just a massive thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw one of these in the wild. We were doing our Monaco sale, and there was one parked outside our Monaco hotel. Somebody was telling me, and I don't know whether this is market specific, but I'm pretty sure if you had that in the UK, you cannot drive it on a car with a car driving like you have to have
Commercial.
a commercial truck license.
You do.
Because of the extra axle.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is mad.
It is mad.
Right.
Tina Turner's S-Class.
Tina Turner's S.
yeah.
Yes. Tina Turner's S-Class.
That's cool, isn't it?
She sat there.
Did she drive or did she have a chauffeur?
I think she had a chauffeur. While she was listening to the best, only the best, or whatever it's called, the best.
No,
Simply the best. That was the
you
one.
don't listen to your own music.
I get
You listen. Oh, that would just be
I love
wrong.
this. I like the spec. Black.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this just works on many, many levels. And in terms of this era of Ben's barges, I mean, they were built so well. They were such tanks.
Absolute battleship. Indestructible cars.
And the word, I mean, it defines the barge.
yeah,
doesn't it?
But I mean, a car that will go on forever,
Yeah.
in lovely condition, Tina Turner provenance, you might get that for under 50 grand.
And
And think in the context of brand new cars, what you can go out and it doesn't get you anything these days.
No, it's true actually.
no.
Yeah.
If you went into Mercedes-Benz and said, "What have you got for 50 grand?" They'd probably laugh you out the showroom.
Yeah.
probably, yes.
Well, you can spend.
And someone said to me that Tina Turner, it's her birthday in 2 days or something like that. So we're selling it a day before her birthday or something like that.
That's nice.
That's very nice to know.
Something like
What a legend.
Yeah.
What a legend. Let's go. We've got to go upstairs. We're going to go up an escalator now.
Okay.
Johnny, the cameraman's going up an escalator backwards, which is dangerous at the best of times. We've been drinking, so
Health and safety out the window.
health and what health and safety? It's
Here's the safety.
should get podcast danger money. Right. So we're going to walk around. Should we go this way?
Let's do that.
Lovely Dino in a lovely colour,
Yep.
kind of like a bluey green.
Dino that's not red is always a winner for me.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's mega. That is a great colour.
Yeah.
Corvette's really nice. I
is.
really like this Corvette. I think it's for
They also look good value for money, don't they?
yeah.
You know,
What year is this one again? It's 59. Yeah.
Do you think I could cruise Dorking High Street listening to the Beach Boys in this?
Well, let's put it this way. I think you'd look better in this than you would in the Beetle.
True.
I think you would look more at home in the Beetle.
I'd look more manly in this, though, wouldn't I? We've got lots of BMs.
Yes.
And no reserve written in large numbers,
Yep.
in large letters.
And quite collectible M3s and M4s and,
Yep.
and M2 as well. All of them sort of slightly special, like this is the 30-year anniversary they did. And, so all of them are sort of, they're pretty cool. I
They're
like
very high spec.
Yes.
They're very high
The
spec.
colour on this.
the colour on this is lovely.
Colour.
Yeah, I really like that.
Bear in mind, we have audio listeners that can't see the colour.
Sorry, the colour is, it's like a very, is it purple? Is it grey? Is it blue?
It's aubergine.
Aubergine?
Is it?
Subtle aubergine.
It's cool.
Subtle aubergine.
What it is, it's cool. Then we've got
I don't like
a rally car.
by the way. An ex-Sebastian Loeb Citroën.
Yeah, one Monte Carlo, I think
WRC
twice,
car.
didn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's got mod
Yeah,
colour
that
problems.
really is an incredible bit of kit. An incredible
it
bit
really
of rally
is.
history. E30 M3 Evo,
Love that. I mean, that's for me.
Yeah,
That's my kind of
I'm
thing.
very fond of the yellow.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think
Integrale.
that yellow Integrale is.
And that is a very not standard yellow. That is a Ferrari. I know there was a standard yellow for the Integrale, but that is not it.
Do you know the indicator stalks on an Integrale are the same as on an F40?
Is that right?
You're such a geek.
It's true.
Do you know a friend of mine who had an awful lot more money than me when he was a teenager? His father bought him a brand new Lamborghini Jalpa.
A Jalpa.
A Jalpa.
Oh, there's a thing.
He had the only Jalpa with a quattro valve engine, but the door handles were Austin Maxi. Had Austin
Nice.
Maxi door handles.
Nice.
This has got F40 indicator stalks. Is that right?
Yeah.
Are you factually correct? on
I am
that?
pretty
don't-
sure I am.
I don't want people to
No,
write
I'm-
into the podcast and complain that our car
maybe there was an
specialist
earlier variant that had them, but it was. I'm pretty sure that was the
is.
case.
So this is. I can't say this right because it's Italian. It's Gallo Ginestra.
See.
Or something like
See.
that.
You know when you do.
It's a run-out limited edition. Basically, they raided the parts bin at the end of production. Went, okay, how can we sell the last of
Peter,
these chassis?
I want to see you in that.
Oh, here's my Beetle.
There's your Beetle.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Shall I hold your drink?
Please.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Oh dear, look at this.
Here we go.
Because this is a very. What the Germans have done a lot of very good things where cars are concerned. What it took them a very long time to work out how to get a hood folded down, didn't
Yeah.
it? In such a way that
They didn't really succeed on that
no,
one, did they?
you can't see anything out of the mirror.
No.
No.
And obviously, when you're a man of my stature,
What year was your car? Do you remember?
my Beetle.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember.
Oh.
Well, it was 70s, like
Okay.
76 or something.
Peter, you look fabulous in that car.
You do actually look quite good.
Yeah, it suits you.
Annoying, actually.
It suits you
does.
to a T.
So I'll take my glasses off because I look less like an accountant, and I look a bit more like a beach boy.
74.
More like a beach boy, yeah.
I know. Look, I love these. But it's roomy. You get 4 people in. I know you don't get anywhere fast, but
No.
Given your current and future prospects, this might be one.
Well,
There you go.
There we go.
And better fuel consumption as well.
Very frugal. Oh, thank you. I'll get my beer back.
Okay. Peter's relived his youth.
Yes.
No, that was nice.
Now let's move on. Back
and
to reality.
I always love a car where you can put your shopping in the front as well. I don't know why. I just love it.
So here we go. The main hall.
So now
Yeah.
we are walking into the main auction room. So tomorrow, this will have chairs laid out, and hopefully there will be 5,000 people standing in here bidding on all of Anders' cars.
And they don't have to only bid on mine. That's all right.
So-
I'm not egoistic like that. I can share them. I can share them.
We've got 356 Porsches, we've got modern 911s, we've got Lambos, we've got an Lexus LFA, a Scuderia 16M, a Ford GT. We got all sorts of stuff, and I mean, at some point before we end this podcast, we're going to have to go and look at the star car of the sale, which is that very
But there's a
lovely...
lot of good, chunky, modern, interesting stuff, like an SL65 Black Series, right? They're never, ever going to build a car like that. Ever again.
No.
V12, twin turbo.
Yeah,
That's crazy,
Over
isn't it?
600 horsepower. I mean, that thing is a weapon. 16M, normally aspirated V8,
Lovely
last
thing.
of the eras
Yeah.
of screaming V8s. Ford GT, manual gearbox.
Yep. Stonking big V8.
Great to drive.
Imagine now, I've opened my imaginary checkbook.
Yes.
I've signed 2 checks,
Right.
but I've not filled in the amount. I've just signed them.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got a blank check. What are you going to buy? Anders?
It's not easy because there's a lot of good stuff. The GT you mentioned, now I would be tempted to go there just because they do drive a lot better than they have any right to.
It's a modern classic.
It's a modern
Yeah.
classic, yeah.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I have to confess, I am more of a classic GT guy. And even though it would not be maximizing on that blank check, I think I'd go with the Ghibli. Because it's just my kind of...
Do you know what? That was going to be one of my
Was it?
one of my choices.
There you go, I got that before you.
I'm going to back you up on this.
I think the
colours
Ghibli
great.
is just lovely. It's beautiful colors. I love the design. I love the whole aura around the car. I can just see myself sat there blasting down some Italian or French autostrada heading for the southern coast.
You'd be on your own because you bought her here. You bought her for a first date at Motorworld, and therefore,
And she'd left.
therefore you've not seen
But you
her
know
again.
what? If I was sat in that, even if I was on my own, I wouldn't be sad.
It's
I wouldn't
lovely.
be sad.
Paint's really nice.
Yeah.
Interior very original.
It is.
And they drive so well.
It's a great colour, contrasts beautifully with the interior.
Yep.
And I bang on about this quite a bit. Essentially, this was a Ferrari Daytona competitor, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Conceptually a very, very similar car. Okay, it's
Yeah.
a V8, it's not a V12.
There is
However, what do you pay for a Daytona in this condition?
Well,
Well over half.
three times more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something like that?
Three times more, and it's a Maserati, and you just can't argue with it.
And
it's great looking.
I'm gonna even say, I mean, okay, you are missing 4 cylinders compared to the Daytona.
Sure.
But I'm even gonna say I think the Ghibli probably drives better, in my opinion.
I personally think it's a better looking
think
car.
it's-
Potentially controversial.
Well, and I
but-
think it's a better driver as well.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's actually a better driver, and I love the interior on it as well. There's some patina left there.
It is, of course, a 4.7 and not a 4.9. The 4.9 SS is the Ghibli, isn't
I
it?
think that's a bit hyped because the 4.9 was really made for the US market. It's not faster. It was a way of getting around emissions and stuff,
Yeah.
and they built the 4.9. So everybody just thinks by default the biggest engine is going to be the most fun, but I actually think the 4.7 is the one to have. That's controversial maybe, but that's my opinion.
Size isn't everything.
And also, being a 4.7, it's an early car, it's from 68, so it's got the prettier dashboard with the
Yeah.
small toggle switches,
Yeah.
which is a lot better than the later dashboard, which you get with the 4.9 liter engine.
It's the connoisseur's choice.
I think
The
so.
connoisseur's choice.
I think so. Are you calling me a
Connoisseur's choice.
connoisseur? Thank you very much for
Well,
that.
you should wait till my choice.
Okay, Will, look, Anders has given his. So, as a connoisseur, Will, where's your money being spent?
I'm going to the other side of the planet when it comes to connoisseur's choice.
Oh, we're going to the other side of the room.
And I'm going to get quite reckless.
Yes.
Come over here, I'll show you.
All right.
I might as well show you.
All right.
So my car is based on my childhood and to a certain extent, something I genuinely would buy now as with half a mind of as an investment, you know, in the back of my mind, because I think that they represent childhood kind of dreams and actually in this case, genuine sort of German/Italian practicality.
Oh.
And it's this.
Yes.
It's the Diablo.
Oh my
6
God!
litre
I didn't see that coming.
VT.
A 6 litre VT.
Now the reason
It's the last year as well. for
It's the
Diablo.
last year
Last year you
of
get the
production.
6 liter engine.
And for the benefit of our listeners,
yes,
this is a bright. Let's just assume they know what a Diablo looks like. This is bright orange. It's not
Very bright.
It's not
very
subtle.
bright. It's not subtle.
Black leather interior with orange piping.
And if you're going to own a car like this, it might as well be orange or purple or
There
something
is-
something
I agree.
shouty
There is no point in buying a Diablo in silver or black.
to blend
Can I just
in.
say I would not drive down Dorking High Street in an orange Diablo.
Well, you're already stuck in the Beetle, so that's no.
Yeah, it's fine. You'll be on the side of the road as I blast past you. No, but it's just, this car to me represents my childhood, and it represents a shape that I think is still undervalued compared to
And I mean-
the other cars of this era.
Well, you can't buy a Countach for this money.
You can't buy a
doors.
Countach. And the doors.
The doors.
And this
Scissor
is
doors.
opening up the door now, and up it goes.
Yeah.
With a beer in my hand, life
also-
doesn't get much better.
This iteration, the 6-litre, it got the Audi finishing school touches. It was still the brute that the Diablo always was.
Yes.
But it just got a little bit more refinement
Yeah.
from the Audi input and the fact that Audi had taken over the company by that point.
And assembled a little bit better.
Yes.
I once drove one of these to the south, from London to the south of France.
How was it?
To Marseille. It was great, other than for the fact I had to put it on a cross-channel ferry and I couldn't get up the ramp.
Oh no. What did you do? Reverse on?
They had to, I had to have like an army of P&O workmen help
Sorry,
me.
Anders, can I just pull this? for a
Yes,
sec?
you can, because that is where the business is.
I kind of just want to have a quick look at this. And I will put my pint down because the internet doesn't need to see me pour that onto this car.
Yes.
That-
Look at that.
That is a majestic piece of engineering in front of us.
It is.
And when you hear these at full chat,
Normally
they
aspirated
sound
6-litre V12. I mean,
sound so good.
What I love is that they've written the firing order for the
Yeah.
cylinder.
Yeah.
Which is actually quite useful.
It is. But for me, relative to sort of value for money versus future potential versus just a thrilling driving experience.
it's also quite interesting with this being the last year, how much they actually managed to develop the Diablo in its lifetime, because it wasn't produced for as long as the Countach was, for example. That was in production for what? Forever.
Yes.
And the Diablo was in production for, was it 11
Was it
years, 12 years? something like that?
1990, they kind of launched it.
1990, something
There's a
like that.
little they had a little remembered one mate racing series for these.
They
as
did.
well.
Oh, yeah, they did.
But note how much carbon fiber is on this car.
Yeah.
And they didn't have that obviously when it was introduced. So I mean, the amount of development that actually went into it is actually it's quite.
Yeah, using the same basic kind of platform though as the Countach. You know, that engine goes all the way back. You know,
That engine goes back to the Miura even.
indeed.
Essentially, it's the same block.
They are I mean, I've only ever done one journey in one, but it was a long journey. They're quite unwieldy,
Yes.
shall we say?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a car. It's definitely not a car for B-lane blasting. You put it on an auto route and head it to the south of France,
Yes.
and they're absolutely mega.
Yeah.
But it is physically a very, very big car.
Oh, it is. It is.
It's a worthy choice.
If you're done dreaming,
Yeah.
we need to know if this guy's going to stick to his Beetle or if there's
yeah.
actually something else.
What's your choice?
Well,
Peter.
annoyingly, I was going to go for the Ghibli.
Oh, I do
I
apologise.
know, but so I've got my back against the wall. I'm going to have to choose something in this run.
Well, I mean, you could push me into the Ford GT and then I'd let you have the Ghibli. I wouldn't be devastated.
I've always wanted a 3-litre CSL. Arguably, I wouldn't probably choose a race car, as much as I would quite like to race one.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I would probably have a road car.
They are iconic, aren't
But-
they? I mean, the colours, those wheels, the
Look at it.
arches.
Now that is a car you could put in your hotel bedroom and look at
Absolutely.
all night long.
Do you know, when I was born in 1970, and so lived through the 70s, and my dad had a really good friend who had a 3-litre CSL road car, and even when I was like 10 years old, I remember standing on the driveway and just being in love with it.
Yeah.
And I'm still in love with it. I still think it's one of the best looking silhouettes of any car.
Definitely.
And
What I like about these as well is when you see the road car, the coupe lines are actually very elegant and delicate almost.
Yeah.
And then you convert it into the race car with the big bulging arches and the rear spoiler and everything, the Batmobile, and it totally transforms the car. It's amazing how different it is. It's certainly brutal, isn't it?
Very much.
And the other thing about the road-going 3-litre CSL, and this comes back to the kind of value proposition we were talking about with the Ghibli versus the the Daytona. This was a competitor, essentially, for a 2.7 RS.
I'm out of beer.
Oh my God. Security. We have a 2.7 RS further
Yes,
up.
we do.
You know, those are cars which are north of £400,000.
Yes.
A lovely 3-litre CSL road car, somewhere between 140 and 200.
Well, if you wanted an original
Depending on-
Batmobile, you'd have
With
to
a-
pay a lot more.
A Batmobile,
standard
but
CSL.
a standard CSL.
100 to 150.
Which versus kind of a 2.7 RS Touring
Yeah.
is great value. I mean, they don't have. It's a BMW and it's kind of a saloon sort of coupe, but it doesn't have the cachet of a.
But
of
it
a
is,
911.
it is the same era. They were built for the same purpose. They,
And they are loved as much as an RS. You know, to those within the car community, I think everyone loves.
and
the CSL.
production numbers are quite fairly similar as well on them. You know, there's a lot. There's a lot that they have in common, and
There you go.
as you point out, they're less than half.
Less than half the price.
Yeah.
I think we're giving our listeners some very astutely observed purchasing. We're going to finish up our tour by looking at the Star Lot.
This car being the Star Lot is so justified. I mean, look at it. The shape, the rarity, the color on this one. I love the color.
I think we had a Daytona Spider at Villaröber.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
That was part of the Aurora collection.
And we did a pod from Villaröber, and I remember saying then that for anyone that lived through the 80s and watched Miami Vice, you know, these are so much more than being a star in a TV show. But of course, although the Miami Vice car wasn't a real Daytona,
It was
Spider,
not.
But people recognise, people that don't know much about cars, if they watch Miami Vice, they recognise the Daytona Spider. And what a colour! Look at the colour.
the colour.
The colour is everything.
The color is magnificent.
But it's something that went out of fashion, you know, about 15, 20 years ago. No one wanted these cars in these colours because they were just considered just unloved, and there's only a handful of them.
Everyone wanted a red one.
Everyone wanted a red one.
Now, get one of these in gold or some beautiful green metallic or a blue hues of the, you know, and so
works.
much more interesting
It's
than
of
just
the
another
period,
red
right?
one.
It's of its era.
Absolutely.
Not cheap.
Well,
You're going to have to pay in excess of £2 million.
yes.
So, you know, you can't do that on, on my salary.
No,
For a
not
start.
on mine either.
But-
but where was that blank check again that you just handed me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, when I said, I mean, I didn't say it wouldn't bounce. No, fantastic car. Well, gents, thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
I did, however, or the pod budget did feed you and provide you with beer.
Honoured.
And thank you.
And so thank you for
Some
joining
good sausage.
Say no more. Best you don't.
Best I don't.
So, thank you, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this episode from Motorworld at our Munich auction, and join us next time.